The allure of Kilimanjaro begins long before one ever sets foot on its slopes. Rising dramatically above the Tanzanian landscape, the mountain commands attention even from a distance. Around a campfire in the Serengeti, its imposing silhouette loomed on the horizon. For those planning to conquer Africa's highest peak, selecting the right route is one of the most crucial steps in preparation. With 7 primary routes leading to the summit, understanding their challenges and advantages is essential. This guide explores each route in detail to help climbers choose the path best suited to their journey. When trekking Kilimanjaro, the path you take is arguably the most crucial decision you will make. At least 7 alternatives are available. The primary ones are the Coca-Cola Route and the Tourist Route are other names for the Marangu Route. The Whiskey Route, also known as the Machame Route, generally regarded as the most scenic, the Machame Route. The sole route from the north is the Rongai Route. The Shira Route, an approach from the left at a high height. A route that circles the northern slopes is known as the Northern Circuit. The most straightforward path to the peak is the Umbwe Route. The table above illustrates the advantages and disadvantages of each option. Because it is less steep and takes the least amount of time, the Marangu Route is the most popular with novice trekkers. However, it is also more crowded than some of the other routes and more challenging to acclimate to. One of the more challenging routes is the Umbwe Route. Unless you have prior mountaineering experience, you should start by acclimating to the altitude elsewhere, e.g., by climbing Mount Meru. Several variables need to be taken into account when deciding on your Kilimanjaro route. The first is acclimatization. Altitude sickness is more likely to occur on routes with steeper ascents. The second factor is the route's difficulty, especially on summit nights, which may be inferred from its success rate. Considerations include the available lodging options and the level of traffic on the route. The trail is also very picturesque. A good view enhances the trekking experience. To assist you in choosing the best Kilimanjaro route for your journey, we have included a thorough analysis of each route. First, though, a brief caution regarding altitude sickness. Before choosing to take medication for altitude sickness, it's crucial to consult your physician because there may be adverse consequences. Since the drug has an adjustment period that could disrupt your entire trip, it is best to make this decision well in advance of your mountain climb. It's not a fun experience, I assure you. Using the right acclimatization techniques and schedules can significantly lower the risk of altitude sickness. Avoiding tour companies who provide climbs up Kilimanjaro over fewer days is a simple way to avoid this problem because they won't have as much time for acclimatization. The routes of Kilimanjaro, the route through Marangu, ideal for people on a tight budget or those who don't want to camp. Distance, 5 to 6 days, 70 kilometers. About half of climbers choose this Kilimanjaro route, which is regarded as a tourist route. The only path that doesn't need camping is Marangu, which provides lodging in little huts all along the way. These huts are the source of Marangu's moniker, the Coca-Cola Route, since they offer bottled Coke along with a few other items. Although the huts are more comfortable than tents, they are by no means opulent. They are simple, with an eating area and bedrooms that include mattresses and pillows. At the southeast Marangu Gate, you start your hike. In the Kilimanjaro region, this gate is near the town of Moshi, a sanctuary situated beneath the mountain. One of the main reasons it's a popular option for hikers is its proximity. The path is one of the busiest because the ascent and descent share a track, meaning you only view a small portion of the mountain while sharing it with returning hikers. The ascent on summit night is steep, but the climb itself is not hard and is the best option for novice hikers. Although the journey can be finished in 5 days, it is advised to take 6 days to allow for better acclimatization. The low success rate of this route can be attributed to the fact that the huts are just 1,000 meters above sea level, which makes it difficult to acclimate while you sleep. The climb's short length, proximity to Moshi, and lack of camping gear are some of the reasons it's less expensive. Marangu has one of the lowest success rates, even though it's marketed as the easy route. This is partly because it is underappreciated and many participants lack adequate training. Additionally, there is a chance of altitude sickness due to the height increase that occurs on summit night. Increase your chances of a successful summit by being well prepared and choosing the 6-day option. Even if this Kilimanjaro path isn't as picturesque as others, you will still be able to stand on the majestic Uhuru Peak like everyone else. Additionally, you will get some amazing views of Mawenzi, one of Kilimanjaro's 3 volcanic cones. The sights are restricted to what you have previously seen in the preceding days as you make the same journey back, but with an extra sense of accomplishment and joy. Marangu might be the path for you if you're short on time, have a limited budget, detest tents, and have a hard time trekking. The road to Machame. Ideal for those who wish to trek high and sleep low, and those who enjoy a variety of landscapes. Distance, 6-7 days, 161 kilometers. It is understandable why Machame is referred to as the whiskey route, since Marangu is the Coca-Cola route. It is a more difficult climb that is not for the unprepared. Although it is substantially different than Marangu, it is the busiest Kilimanjaro path on the mountain. At the Machame Gate, which is located south of the mountain, you start your hike in the rainforest. It passes through 5 distinct climatic zones and numerous habitats, making it a stunning trip. Reaching Shira Camp on the plateau of the Shira volcanic cone offers a breathtaking panorama. Compared to some of the other Kilimanjaro routes, it's a steeper, more undulating ascent when you leave the Shira Plateau, but you may travel high and sleep low, which is crucial for acclimatization. You can try this route in 6 days, which means you will try to reach the summit early on the 5th day. Those that extend it to 7 days, however, have a far greater success rate since it provides you a short day before the summit push. There are no huts along Machame. It's a camping route. This is where having quality equipment and guidance is crucial. You should be well fed and rested before attempting the peak. After a hard day, a cozy sleeping bag, a bowl of salty cucumber soup, and a nicely arranged hot chocolate are all quite welcome. The views from Shira Camp will further confirm that camping is an amazing way to experience the mountain. This path also passes over the Barranco Wall, which appears to be a much more challenging obstacle than it is, and around the lava tower. You will go to the peak base of Barafu Camp, which is named after the Swahili word for ice. The oxygen content is 50% lower here than at sea level, and it's freezing. To reach the summit at daybreak, most summit efforts start shortly before midnight. Passing Gilman's Point, Stella Point, and Uhuru Peak, one of the easiest climbs, offers one of the most breathtaking sunrises you will ever witness. Machame takes a separate path down to Moeka Camp, which is located in the back of the rainforest. Around the campfire, there are loud tunes and a positive vibe. The road to Lemosho, ideal for observing wildlife and venturing off the usual route. Distance, 7 to 8 days, 7 kilometers. Generally regarded as the most picturesque way to the peak, it was developed as a substitute for the Shira Way. It was constructed as a lower starting point for people making the westward ascent of Kilimanjaro. Starting at Lemosho Gate, you will have more time to acclimate to the elevation gradually. Due to its greater isolation, the western side is more costly and requires a longer journey, 2 to 3 hours, to reach the starting point. However, there are some fantastic benefits because there will be a lot fewer hikers on the path in the first several days. Larger animals, like as the formidable Tembo elephant, are also more likely to be seen along this route. On day 2, the Lemosho route connects with the Shira route, and the following day, it joins the Machame route. The lengthier hike takes 7 to 8 days to complete. Similar to Machame, climbers must be at ease while camping. The road to Rongai, ideal for anyone looking for a more gentle climb on a far-off path. Distance, 6-7 days, 74 kilometers. the only way to climb Kilimanjaro from the north is via the Rongai. After registering at the Marangu Gate, you continue to the starting location on the mountain's Kenyan side. The advantages are comparable to those of other more isolated set-off points. It is less crowded and offers a greater opportunity to spot wildlife. There is a greater chance of staying dry on this side of the mountain because it receives less rainfall than the southern part, excellent during the wet season. Compared to other routes, it has gentler sections and a milder ascent. While this is excellent for exertion, it is not very good for acclimatization to trek high and camp low. You can try the Rongai trip in 6, 7, or 8 days. It's crucial to provide adequate time for acclimatization, just like with any other climb. The Marangu Route is the path of the descent. The route is lovely and slow. This option is a strong contender if money is not an issue. The road to Shira, ideal for seasoned hikers at high elevations. Distance, 6 to 8 days, 58 kilometers. This route is demanding not because it is technically difficult, but rather because you start your climb at a significantly higher height. At 3,500 meters, the Shira Gate is almost 2,000 meters higher than the Machame Gate. The fact that you are driven up to the Shira Gate, which gives you even less time to adjust to the altitude, makes this a huge altitude surge if you are coming from the towns below. As a result, the Machame Route has essentially supplanted the Shira route. In any case, on the second day, the Shira route connects with the Machame Route, and on the third day, it does so with the Machame Route. Due to its greater distance from Moshi, the western side of Kilimanjaro is more difficult and costly to access. It has fewer climbers until the lava tower, where it connects with Machame. Shira shouldn't cause any major issues if you are an experienced hiker with confidence who has hiked at altitude before. Although it may be completed in 6 days, it is typically extended to 8 days, increasing the likelihood that you will reach the summit successfully. The circuit in the north, ideal for people climbing a mountain for the second time and looking for fresh opportunities. 88 kilometers in 8 to 9 days. The Londerossi Gate in the west marks the start of the most recent Kilimanjaro route. Up to the lava tower, the northern circuit is identical to the Machame Route. The trail varies from Machame, Shira, and Machame at this point. The track goes in a different direction than down to Barranco Camp, which is tucked away beneath the Barranco Wall. This is where the northern circuit gets its name. It travels north to Muara Hut, which is also part of the Shira route, and then turns northwest along the northern slopes to meet the Rongai route variant at Third Cave. Most ascend by School Hut, descend via the Mwika route, and return via the majority of other routes. Like most routes though, this can be altered to alter the starting position for the summit and the Marangu descent. It has the best success percentage of any Kilimanjaro route because of the climb high, sleep slow chances. But because it's one of the longest, it's also one of the priciest. The road to Umbuli, ideal for seasoned hikers looking for a challenge. 48 kilometers over 5 to 7 days. Umbwe is the least congested route for the first few days. With the most direct way up to the summit, it is also regarded as the toughest. Therefore, there's good reason for this. You start in the rainforest and follow a steep northward trail after registering at the Machame Gate. Although it is a very steep climb in the first couple of days, it can be completed in as little as 5 days. 6 or 7 are advised. This route has a poor success rate and less time for acclimatization. Climbers should be accustomed to high altitude and strenuous hiking before climbing Umbwe. On the evening of the second day, when traffic is at its worst, the majority of guides connect the path to Machame. You will therefore reach the peak from Barafu Camp. After several climbers were killed by a rockfall in 2006, the route that used to reach the summit via Arrows Glacier and the Western Breach was altered. The most difficult route up Uhuru Peak is the Western Breach, which is once again accessible. This is not a tourist route. Therefore, anyone thinking about going should know a little more about mountain climbing before looking for a guide who can provide accommodations. In conclusion, which Kilimanjaro route is the best? Every Kilimanjaro climbing path has advantages and disadvantages. What you're looking for will greatly influence your decision. We would suggest the Machame, Lemosho, or Rongai routes if this is your first time climbing Kilimanjaro. They use various paths for ascent and descent, are less congested than the Marangu Route, and have higher success rates. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to Summit Kilimanjaro for more videos. See you next time.